Scorpio, Sun, Moon and Rising, here is your tarot reading for the week ahead. Please take what's helpful, leave what isn't, and as ever, always get the messages to fit into your life rather than try to get your life to fit around the messages, but just some insights of what energies to look out for next week. It's really nice to see you're definitely back on this upward trajectory. Scorpio readings of late have been very, very positive, and that's really nice to see. And this week is no exception. Something that I said to Cancer that I'll say to you is the water signs certainly seem to be better off this week. Partly this is coming about because we've got this this full moon in Leo happening in around this time. And what that is creating is a lot of emotional tension for people. Now, because your water signs and the emotional realm is your jam, it's your vibe, it's your environment, you're able to circumnavigate a lot of these emotional challenges better than most. It doesn't mean that they're not there. You just know you're more skilled and apt at being able to deal with them. We start off with the Knight of Swords. So the positive aspect of this full moon in Leo is that it is encouraging us to connect with our creativity, this forward drive, this motivation, this more fiery aspect. Don't be surprised, therefore, if this week that you do feel like, oh, and I want to charge ahead with all guns blazing. The only little piece of advice that I have that you need to be mindful of is appearing in the Page of Pentacles reversed at the end of your reading. I'll come back to him a little bit later, but just initially, the Knight of Swords can sometimes be guilty of charging ahead without much of a plan, without much of a forward plan. Now, with the, what were we on? The earth signs, there was a lot here about forward planning and making sure that we're aligned to our long-term goals. It's not so much given about that, but what I want to make sure that you're not doing as Scorpio is, in some ways, and this is something that I said to Cancer, that we're not being overly confident or overly self-assured of, I'm sure it'll work out. I'm sure it'll work itself out. Now, very often I'm encouraging people to have trust, acceptance, belief in the universe, jump and the net will appear, and all of those things. And that is true. But if we are being foolhardy, and if that is coming from an egoic self-assuredness, I've got this in the bag, nothing can go wrong, then the universe may have no option but to slightly make you eat a slice of humble pie. Again, that's slightly within its extremes, but I would say here it's not useful to turn the corner unless you kind of have a sense of what might be around it. Now, of course, we can never know 100% for certain, but there is a time for discernment, for wisdom, for experience, and go, okay, I have a sense that if I do this, this is likely to happen, rather than be foolhardy and impetuous and act and then have to sort out the mess afterwards or have to put things into order afterwards. That said, we have lovely energies in combination with the Two of Cups, the Lord of Love, the High Priestess, and the Eight of Cups, the Lord of Abandoned Success. Something, I'm going to start with the Eight of Cups first. Something that you have in tandem with your watery neighbor Cancer is this slight ability. Again, there's been a bit of resistance across the board of not wanting to let go much, or not. There's this tension between, oh, I'm not ready to let that go, but I want things to reach completion. But have they reached completion, or is there still more to be done? Lots of that way of thinking coming out here. What's nice to see with you, Scorpio, is I feel that for you to let go of what you need to let go of, or being able to move on to the next chapter, is going to come quite easily. I don't think you're going to ruminate about some of this stuff. It's almost like, oh, universe, you're telling me to let go of that. Okay, I'll let go of that. And you almost kind of throw it away with no second thought. And I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. except if we're falling into that Knight of Swords energy and we're doing it impetuously, if we're rushing into things. So it's a bit of a fine balancing act. Of course, if something is an old rag, it probably needs to go in the bin, but it would be sensible to open the rag first and make sure that there's nothing valuable inside. It's quite a good analogy. I'm quite pleased with myself with that one, but that's kind of the thinking. What is great to see, and this again links back very much of what I was saying at the beginning with the emotional realm and the intuitive realm, is second nature to you. That's why you're going to be able to navigate the weekly challenges much easier than most. And that is reiterated with the High Priestess here. She is the queen of the emotional realm, the queen of the subconscious, the unknown, the intuitive self. Therefore, it is a really, really good time to just check in with your emotions and check in with your intuitive. Be led by what your intuition tells you, except when it is giving you a kind of false positive. That will only come about if we are overly confident. I know I keep mentioning this, but it does bear repeating, because in some ways this moving forward is really, really good and positive, and because again, you may find that those that are around you are finding things a little bit more challenging. That will give you a greater sense of security, which is there, but we don't want to overinflate that sense of security. We've got the Two of Cups here, that exchange of emotions feeling really good, those partnerships feeling really good. You probably offering emotional support to others that again may be finding things a little bit more challenging around this time. Something I said to Cancer that I'm going to repeat to you is, because you are better equipped at dealing with these energies, sometimes the responsibility that comes with that is offering solace, offering assuredness to others. Be sure that you're picking up the phone, checking in with friends, relatives, loved ones, that they're all right, that you can kind of offer any emotional support that they needed. We have there the Eight of Cups, as I mentioned. We've also got the crescent moon just right in the background there, and we've got the crescent moon here too. So lots of these moon energies coming about, this yin aspect, this intuition, this emotional realm, this full moon in Leo. Everything that I've spoken about feels really magnified, but it's almost like you're bathing in that moon glow. I'm somewhat going to repeat myself here, but it does A, bear repeating, and B, it's kind of in a slightly different way too, because the Eight of Cups, you can obviously see that he's leaving his emotional baggage behind quite gladly, quite happily, ready to start the next chapter. And then we have the Page of Pentacles straight after. So just ensure this week that you're not just only focused on your short-term goals of, oh, I'll be fine this week. And then it's almost you get to the end of the week and think, oh, I didn't quite plan what was coming next. So although your focus might be in your immediate, and again, that's very good, that's quite grounded, that's very present, just ensure that you're not excluding. Again, I don't want to dash any hope and any trust and faith that everything will be all right, because I'm sure it will be. But I just don't want you to find yourself in a bit of a tangled mess that you have to untether yourself from because you didn't kind of put the plan in place ahead of time. Remember that a stitch in time saves 9, so it's all on preparation this week. But ultimately, great, really, really nice to see. Well worth checking out your moon and rising sign. The fact that we've got all this moon energy again highly indicates that checking out your moon sign is very pertinent at the moment. If you're not sure how to do that, then I would highly recommend you check the pinned comment below, and it will show you the link on how to do that for free. And please, please hit subscribe, notification, like, and comment, all of that stuff. Unsurprisingly, it takes quite a lot of work and energy to put these videos together. So it just encourages me to carry on creating content like that if I know that people are finding it useful and are engaged. But until next time, have a wonderful, wonderful week, and I shall see you then. Bye for now.